And also, US President Donald Trump has said that he is in fact aware that the Iranian foreign minister would have been arriving at a G7 summit yesterday. Donald Trump said that the French president had told him about the invitation that had been extended to Javad Zarif, and he had given him a go-ahead for it. Now, speaking at a joint press conference with the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Donald Trump said that he was not ready to meet with Javad Zarif yet. However, he said that he will have talks with Iran pretty soon. Now, Donald Trump also said that he wanted a non-nuclear deal with Iran. He would be willing to talk to Iran about ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, US President also slammed Iran for spreading terrorism. Listen to what Donald Trump said.
Iran has a chance to really build themselves up and be a very great nation, greater than before. But they have to stop terrorism. That is your #1 nation of terror. Now, not in the last year and a half, 2 years, because they can't spend like they used to spend. They took President Obama's $150 billion and they doled it out to terrorists all over the place. And I think they're going to change. I really do. I believe they have a chance to be a very special nation. I hope that's true.
Remember, the Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif arrived unannounced, or at least that is what it appeared at the summit in Biarritz on Sunday. And his visit, of course, came amidst heightened tensions between Iran and the United States. Javad Zarif held talks with his French counterpart, French Finance Minister, and also President Emmanuel Macron. The meeting was followed by a joint briefing for United Kingdom and Germany, after which Javad Zarif departed from Biarritz. Zarif did not meet with US President Donald Trump. Now, an official has said that talks with Javad Zarif lasted for almost about 3.5 hours. The French presidency has said that the talks were positive and ongoing. The two leaders had held talks in Paris on Friday as well. And German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that every opportunity should be seized to resolve tensions between the United States and Iran.
I'm sorry. Vous devez partir.
All right, so there are a different number of meetings that are presently ongoing, and the person that you're looking at on your screens is Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. This is Paul Kagame of Rwanda. And these are the different meetings that are presently underway in the holiday resort town of Biarritz in France. And a whole host of meetings are presently underway, and also Prime Minister Narendra Modi there, also taking part in all of these meetings. We expect the Indian Prime Minister to hold his bilateral meeting with US President Donald Trump in a few minutes' time from now. And also this appears to be a session on climate change and biodiversity. Remember, there were 2 sessions that the Indian Prime Minister was to take part in. German Chancellor Angela Merkel is just walking in to the meeting. And this, of course, is a very crucial one. G7, it was earlier known as G8. At the time, it had Russia as a part of it. Russia, of course, was removed from the G8 grouping after it annexed Crimea back in the year 2014. But Donald Trump has, of course, been batting for Russia to be re-included. It has been invited this time round for intergovernmental consultations. That is how it has been dubbed. And what is also interesting as a part of these meetings is the fact that a consensus is sought to be arrived on the issue of climate change. And the person you're looking at on your screens, Emmanuel Macron, has been doing the heavy lifting as a part of this meeting. The G7 summit is being held in Paris this time round, and therefore he has, of course, taken the lead in some way setting the agenda for the meet, where he said that the Amazonian rainforests will be one of the key aspects that will be discussed. And also the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was the person that we saw a little while back. So different leaders are, of course, at this summit. And the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on your screens now as the leaders sit down for this round of consultations. A very important meeting, this of the G7 nations. And although some have said that this is essentially a talking shop without any power to in fact pass binding resolutions that countries will have to abide by. This is also an important gathering of the world leaders. The top leaders of the top 7 economies are a part of the G7, but the big exclusion is China. And that of course, in some ways takes away some of the gravitas associated with the G7 meeting. And also Boris Johnson, the man who will be discussing and negotiating a lot with the woman that you saw on your screens, Angela Merkel, as he, of course, is trying to beat out a Brexit deal with a very quick impending deadline. Now, important meetings are underway, and also Prime Minister Narendra Modi there seated. And this, of course, is an important meeting, we're given to understand, possibly on biodiversity that will take place. Now, the Amazonian rainforests that are on fire, having deliberately been set on fire as a matter of policy by Jair Bolsonaro, who wants to reclaim the land of the forest for making farms and ranches. One could expect that there could be a statement on that.